Okay, Joey, we're live here with Torah Talk, Pasha Vayeira, and you just came from your first Alexander technique lesson, so how was it, Big Mouth? Joey just had a bacon double mac cheeseburger.
A veggie bacon double mac cheeseburger.
Totally kosher.
I had them put in just a bit of real bacon just for ritual purposes, but the Alexander technique session was very, very interesting. I guess Kavanah is...
Show them what you normally do with your chest.
Oh, yeah. Let me show you my... This is strictly for intimidation purposes, so I don't want anyone to get nervous.
Yeah.
Just stay calm. It's a crusader posture. So the breastbone has at the tip of it a little thing sticking out called the xiphoid process. Now, it's not clear what function the xiphoid process serves biologically, but for me, I think of it as a sort of weapon with which I undo my opposition. I'm going to stab them with it. So I stick out my solar plexus like this, and I keep my shoulders back, not up and back, just back like this, and I look a little angry. I do the underlook, which Lord Byron actually perfected, which is you look down like this and you look forward, and it's very intimidating, as you have experienced now. So between these things, this was my crusader posture. It turns out it's ridiculous. Looks ridiculous. You think it's intimidating and very manly and masculine, and you want to do my bidding now. But it's actually the teacher, Julia Calder, showed me, no, in fact, it's just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing that you do. And it turns out I think she's right. So I'm going to retire the crusader posture, and I'm going to focus my kavanah on those areas of my body where I have needless tension. Like right now, for example, I'm locking my knees. Totally unnecessary. So now she didn't even point that out. I'm just a very quick study. So now I know that I'm supposed to be like this.
Peking, man.
Yeah.
Very good, Joey. So we're expecting a whole new depth of Torah insights now that you've been aligned physically. We're expecting there will be a certain spiritual
depth. Yeah. Well, it is. There is something in common, I think, between my understanding of Kavanah and the kind of focused mindful awareness that she was kind of, I think, she didn't call it that, but So I hope I'll outdo even myself the last time.
So I read a very disturbing article in Commentary magazine yesterday about Parshas Vayeira, which is Genesis chapter 18 through about 22:6, I think. And that article by Hillel Halkin said that our matriarch Sarah was a slut. And I'd never ever thought of this. But it points out that after Pharaoh had been with her, he came down with a skin disease, aka gonorrhea, or syphilis, or the clot.
Gonorrhea is very common in that part of the world, for what it's worth. Continue. Maybe it's from... continue.
And then Avimelech, after he'd appropriated her for a while, he and all his people had another sort of sexual dysfunction disease as well. And so it sounds like our matriarch Sarah is going around giving people the clap. Now, when I brought this up with an Orthodox rabbi friend of mine, he said, well, the Torah says very clearly that Avimelech did not touch her, and it's true. There's, as we look at Genesis chapter 20, verse 4, it says, now Avimelech had not approached her. Approached is a nice English word for, not stuck. And, but like if you, like it's some, man had appropriated your wife for a few months, and then a voice from heaven comes down and says he didn't touch her. It's like, or if you walk into a building and this man comes out from a private conference with your girlfriend or wife and he says, I didn't touch her.
That's a little alarming.
It's a little alarming.
Yeah, it is.
Like
it is.
It's like
she was up for it, but
it's like trying too hard.
It's
like he didn't touch her. It's like trying too hard.
I do have a personal experience from my own life where I remember trying to reassure a guy specifically by telling him, this was when I was younger, that I had not
Despoiled.
known his female roommate with whom he was very smitten, and I thought he would
Feel better.
He did not. He was
Had you actually stopped her?
I had. But he wanted to know
Deflowered.
why I had not. Yeah, and I was young and dishonest, and I thought I had the perfect answer, which is that I couldn't get an erection. But anyway, these were my childish exploits. But anyway, so yes, you're exactly right. Hearing that, oh man, I didn't even then because the assumption is she did want it. That's not reassuring. But for him, it doesn't really seem to matter.
For who's him? Abimelech?
Abraham Avotenu.
Well, after, Abimelech appropriated her for, weeks or months, it seems like. And then, soon after, Sarah conceived and bore a son. So, who's the father of that son? Is it really Abraham, or it sounds like Abraham had been trying for 50 years?
Right.
And now suddenly she's pregnant with Abraham's the father? I don't think so.
Right, and Rashi, in fact, says, I believe, that really Sarah didn't say that when she was saying why she couldn't conceive a son, she didn't say because I am old, as it says in the text. That actually she said, well, he's old, and that Rashi says the text was changed as a demonstration of the importance of the wife not deflecting criticism to her husband or something. But yes, so it seemed to indicate that Avraham was his pipes were not fully functioning, and yeah, I mean Avimelech seems like the likely candidate.
And it says that I think around chapter 14 that God promises Abraham that he will have a son who will be his natural issue. So the Torah seems trying awfully hard here to say that Sarah was chaste and that Isaac was Abraham's son, but maybe it's trying a little too hard.
Well, I felt that way as well, especially because when it says that their orifices were closed. Now, I spent some time doing a rotation in urology when I was in medical school, and I do specifically remember, I mean, when people have gonorrhea, the man will get something called a urethral stricture, which is where the opening to their penis is really closed, and you have to open it up mechanically, which is painful to watch. But, so yes, it sounds, again, like we're talking about a sexually transmitted disease that was the result of his involvement with Sarah. So it seems like there's a story beneath the story here. And it doesn't involve a lot of chastity on Sarah's part. Also, but it does say that in one of the there's a lot of humorous art scroll commentary to this portion, and one of them is that here, Abraham, he says, Achoti, that she's my sister. Abraham did not ask Sarah's permission to use this ruse because she would refuse due to her previous abduction by Pharaoh. So she actually was not interested in being misrepresented as his sister because she see where that leads. But so Abraham, rather than honoring that desire on her part, said, "Okay, well, I am going to do it. I just won't tell her about it." And so it seems like maybe she wanted to be chaste at this point, but Abraham wasn't very interested in her remaining chaste. Maybe
he suddenly wanted to remain alive.
He wanted to remain alive, or perhaps he knew that he wasn't up to
realized that he wasn't doing it.
He wasn't going to be able to do it. So Avimelech, maybe he just looked like a good DNA for Isaac. I don't know. Even on Abraham's part. I don't know. It's very. Yeah, it's odd to think of the matriarchs and patriarchs as this sort of sassy and promiscuous. Mm-hmm. But all of them. It's not just Sarah. Abraham just seems like some sort of a weird swinger.
Wait, no.
Well, not swinger, not
righteous.
himself.
I mean, he only did Haggai because his wife asked him to. He didn't even enjoy it.
Yeah, well, apparently he enjoyed it because it produced issue, and so he was able to take it for the team. Oh, come on, he did enjoy it physically at least, and okay, and he wasn't as he, and then he's making a hot wife out of Sarah, I mean, he's having Sarah